I'll call this meeting of the Finance and Labor Relations Subcommittee to order. Item 2 is disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof. Seeing none. Item 3, delegations, none scheduled. Item 4, report of the Deputy Clerk. 4.1, 2021 lottery license activity update. Go ahead whenever you're ready, Mr. Babcock.
Thank you, through you, Chair. So this is just an annual report prepared by the Clerk's Office to provide Council with an update on lottery license activities from the previous calendar year. So as you'll see, in 2021, COVID-19 continued to impact lottery license activity through facility closures. The number of licenses issued and subsequent revenue remained fairly status quo in 2021 when compared to 2020. Should facilities remain open and planned events be held as scheduled, staff are hopeful that revenue will return to pre-pandemic levels. And I'm available if there's any questions.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Councillor Bunting.
Yeah, I'd like to move the staff recommendation.
Okay. If there's nothing else, I'll call the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thanks, Chris. Item 5, report of the Director of Corporate Services. 5.1, Destination Stratford 2022 Q1 update. Could I get a motion to hear from Zach? Councillor B, all those in favor? Carried. Zach, are you there? There you are. You go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Through the chair, I will comment a little bit on the materials that were provided in the report supplied to Finance and Labor Committee Subcommittee. So in terms of first quarter finances, everything is on track in terms of matching with available budget. I did want to let this group know that the Destination Stratford board is currently going through a process of reviewing and updating the corporate bylaws and policies. This is not only to update for current best practices, but it's also to formalize the board's direction to complete the transition to a non-member model, which was started roughly a year ago and went through a one-year pilot project. In addition, I want to let you know that we are doing a competitive salary review based on other DMOs and other similar positions, just to make sure that we are aligned with that, to make sure that we can be competitive and retain the talent that we have within the organization. In terms of some grants, we continue to apply for a variety of different grants. Some regard Lights on Stratford. We're still waiting to hear back for a couple of provincial grants, but we will have some exciting news to share soon once I'm allowed to in terms of Lights on Stratford funding and grants for next winter. So we will definitely be doing a Lights on Stratford. We have received some indications in terms of funding and financing, so more details to follow on that. But in the report, you'll find some details about Lights on Stratford. Another thing to update you on is Stratford Alfresco. We're in discussions right now with the city in terms of potential layout and involvement and Destination Stratford support in terms of staffing requirements and things like umbrellas in the square with some funding opportunities that we have found through Destination Stratford. And I'll be presenting to council at the next council meeting. So there's a report that you'll see or should see at that point, and we can go into depth with all things Stratford Alfresco. Quick update about the boathouse public washroom expansion. As you're aware, there was a grant that was made available to help with this project. We are running into potential delays and some cost increases. So we're working through that, looking for some opportunities to reduce the cost and continue to make sure that this project does take place. But I think it comes as no surprise to everyone that supply chain issues, difficulty with availability of trades and a variety of other things are causing us to negotiate and work through that process. So I'll happy to provide an update next time I see this group on some of those projects. We are also exploring some other funding opportunities for tourism infrastructure. And if any of them start to materialize or come back in the affirmative, we will absolutely celebrate that back here with this group. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, thanks, Zach. Does anybody have any questions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to receive the report for information. Moved by Councillor Beattie. All those in favor? Carried. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Item 5.2, review the current interest rate on unpaid taxes. Ms. Kruger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a bit of an intro on this one. It's fairly straightforward, but this was a carryover item that was tasked to staff rather back in 2021, and just trying to close the loop and provide some information back to council. So it was around, the discussion was around a delegation that was requesting tax relief, and the direction to staff was to bring back something to highlight what the interest rate on past due taxes was and the impact of adjusting that rate if we were to look at doing that. It was in the context of like I said, of an individual tax relief request, but I still thought it was a good opportunity to provide some information on what our policy is, how the tax arrears, pardon me, are treated when there are arrears, and what it's looked like for the last 2 or 3 years, so that we can get a sense of how or if COVID has impacted our arrears balances, and by virtue of that, our revenues on unpaid taxes. So on page 2 of the report, I've got a little table in there that shows that, you know, our interest arrears, or pardon me, our total arrears and our current arrears haven't changed significantly in the last few years. In fact, our total arrears have decreased since 2019. So the number of properties is a little higher. So that tells me that there's been a shift as far as, you know, the people who are maybe struggling with keeping their taxes up to date. It's more of a current impact, but some of those longer standing arrears have been cleared up. So that's just a bit of a conclusion I can draw from that. Also wanted to highlight as well what we've received for revenues on, or interest and penalties on those taxes. So again, there's been a slight adjustment due to the waivers that we've provided for COVID and that sort of thing, but certainly nothing too significant as far as that goes, and was certainly the right thing to do at the time. So you know, it's not something that we're looking at proposing or suggesting at this time to recur in 2022, but just gives this committee a little bit of a snapshot about what that looks like. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to receive for information. Councillor Bunting. All those in favor? That's carried. Before I move to item 6, I should mention that I should have mentioned at the beginning that both Deputy Mayor Ritzma and Councillor Clifford sent their regrets for this meeting. Item 6, Advisory Committee outside board minutes. There are none attached. Item 7, next subcommittee meeting is Tuesday, April 19th at 3:30. Item 8, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Beattie. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thanks, everybody. Take care.